Hey, what's up? It's Off Grid with Luke, and today we are chopping our firewood for our very first fire of the season. It's October 3rd, and it's starting to get really cold. We found that the last few mornings it's been below freezing. We're in Canada, so that means below zero. This morning it was -2, and it's just starting to get uncomfortable. And so we want to get our first fire going of the year, which would be great because it makes for good cuddle time. It's a nice heat. The ambiance is wonderful. All those things. But I'm reflecting on this because it's exciting right now because I'm cutting my very first, amount of wood. But I know that in a few months this is not going to be sexy at all. This is not going to be a fun activity that I look forward to. It'll be something that is kind of a pain in the ass. Is something that every single day I have to get wood from my woodshed and take it inside my house and burn it so that our family can stay warm because we don't have any other form of heat. We live up on a mountaintop, which I'll show you in future videos, but it's pretty rough out here. And in the wintertime, we can get 4+ feet of snow and temperatures can drop down to -35 in the coldest parts of the year. We do have more of a temperate climate than that, but for the most part, it can get really cold. And so our house, actually, the only way that we heat it is with wood. We don't have any other form of heating. So we have to cut firewood, which is, like I said, kind of sexy now, something that I enjoy. But come middle of January, it's not as much fun anymore. And the reason why I was reflecting on this was because a lot of people love our life. They think that what we do is really fun and sexy and beautiful, which it is. It's all of those things, but it's also a tremendous amount of work. When you live off grid, there's nobody really coming to save you. You have to kind of take care of everything yourself. If something breaks, you have to go and fix it yourself. And firewood is something that loses its sexy appeal pretty quickly. But what it does is it reminds me of the really simple, basic things in life. And what I mean by that is really the fundamental things. Fire literally is one of the 4 elements. It's one of the base things. In fact, it's one of the things that made humans what we are today. The ability to create fire was the thing that allowed us to stay warm and to cook our food and to procreate in warmth and comfort, which made us have more babies and all of those things. And so it's something that's really core to the human experience. And so for me, when I spend time in the winter chopping firewood, I continually remind myself that I am doing something very primal and very basic in a very good way. It's very grounding for me. It doesn't make it easy. It just gives me purpose for it. And it does. It really puts me in a good headspace because it reminds me that this work that I do is really, really important because it warms my family. It keeps my house from freezing. It creates a warm environment that friends can come and enjoy. And it's something that I know I could just get a furnace that I could just turn on and leave it. But there's something that's really amazing about being a firekeeper. There's something deeply spiritual about it in its own way. I mean, most people groups in the world have stories of the eternal flame, or they praise the firekeepers, the people that would keep the fire going to keep the families and the communities warm throughout the winter. And so to be that person for myself and my family, it is an honor. And I think it's good to remember that when you serve yourself and the people that you love in your community in ways that are so tied to human existence in such raw ways. I think of things like cooking, somebody that cooks for people. You think of that, preparing food is amazing. It's literally life-giving. It's nourishing. I think the same thing about people that harvest and grow food, farmers and hunters and ranchers and stuff like that. You're occupying such honestly a sacred space, a space that's really important for our world. And so, literally for our world. So I think that in our lives, if we can find ways to basically connect those dots in our own lives, whatever it may be. Maybe you do transport for a living and you drive people in a taxi or whatever like that. It's easy to think of it as just a job, but the work that you do is actually an incredible service. Like, you're taking people from point A to point B. You're which could be like the meaning between life and death for some people if you're like an ambulance driver, or it could be like, you know, the difference between somebody getting a job and like changing their life completely because you took them there and they didn't have a vehicle, or whatever the story is. But like, connecting those dots in our own lives, I think, is really important because it gives you a sense of like, it gives you a sense of worth, and like, it gives you a strength when things get difficult. And chopping wood's a great example of that, because in the wintertime, come January, I don't want to do this. I don't want to get my shit on and come outside and be freezing cold and like chop firewood and bring it in and be wet. But then I sit by my warm fire and I watch my kids play, and I have friends over, and I like just get to live and enjoy and spend an evening with my wife in my warm house, and I can hear the crackle of the stove, and all of that work is worth it. So yeah, that's where I'm at today. I'm chopping wood. It's October 3rd. Winter's upon us, and we're getting ready as quickly as possible. And I think this year we're actually in a position to do it way better than any other year. So we have all kinds of things going on. If you don't know, I'll tell you a little bit about us. We live at this place. It's called the Mountaintop at Rock Creek. We're in southern British Columbia, and we have an off-grid resort that we're building, paired with like the fact that we live here. We have animals, we have a garden, we have a team of people that help us build this, and it's a place that you can come and visit, which is pretty neat. So this whole channel is going to be dedicated to kind of all things off-grid in my life, and the things that I'm experiencing, and I hope that you enjoy. So right on, get back to whatever you're doing, and I hope that there is heat where you are and that you're not cold tonight. But I won't be cold because I'm going to go start a fire. So I hope that you have a very good day.